Good morning, anybody who's awake and happens to be joining me. Hello, I may be talking to myself for however long this goes, but I'm awake, I'm semi put together, and felt compelled to go live to try it out and see what happens and see how it goes. So, good morning. Get your coffee, get your water. This is my first hot coffee from Starbucks of not sponsored of the fall season. I'm not a pumpkin spice girl. I'm not a hot cider. There's a place around here that does cider slushies and they're so good. But I don't like hot cider. But this is not a hot cider. This is a peppermint mocha. And it's like Christmas in a cup. Ding. Oh. And it's really good. So, how's everybody? I feel silly talking to myself. And this might be a productive, just kind of body doubling session. You may hear my dog bark because she's right by my side 24/7. And I'm looking at the background here, and this chaotic mess needs to be addressed. But behind me right here, and I think I'm going to rearrange this whole setup of bookshelves behind me because it's starting to become a catch-all, and I don't want that to happen. So I need to organize it and give it some purpose and intention with what's placed on there everywhere. There are some quirks that are on there that we can't work around, like down here under in that bottom shelf there by the router and my printer, there's a cold air return. So we cut through, these are Billy bookshelves from IKEA. So we cut through the backing of the one bookshelf just to allow for the space there. And so whatever, I lose my train of thought very easily. And I'm learning at age 40. What am I? 43 and a half. I'm pretty certain I've had ADHD my whole life. So there's that. I'm going to do one thing here. Actually, while I do this, can I share this from here? I can. Bear with me here. Excuse me. Did anybody ever see Miranda? It's a British comedy with Miranda Hart, and I just love her. If she ever happens across this, Miranda, I love you so much. You're just very real and an inspiration and funny and silly and true, and it's like a breath of fresh air. But anyway, they took her show off of Hulu, which I was very sad to say goodbye to it. But I'll always have the memory of just the silliness that you are. That's okay. This is going on mute because my kids are in school, but I leave my phone on in case. They need anything during the day, like an emergency type situation, not like, oh, Mom, I'm bored in math class. No. Very good. All right. Still have no viewers. That's okay. That's cool. I've got my coffee. Getting back to this shelving mess. I taught myself how to crochet at the beginning of quarantine. I'd always wanted to. And what I found is, hi, Lulu. You want to come say hello? Come here. What it is, crochet, I kind of took to it very easily. This is Lucy. Lucy, say hi. Say hi to everybody. Oh, you just want whatever food you can find up here, huh? You're a real hound. Anyway, crochet came to me pretty easily. I'd always wanted to learn how and never had the time. Well, COVID, and I was sent home from work as a court clerk for God knows how long. So I figured I would channel my attention, redirect my attention elsewhere, so I didn't have to sit and wonder and worry about what was going on in the world 24/7. So it was a little bit of a distraction for me. And I took to it. And as soon as I watched an entire tutorial video instead of just guessing what they were going to tell me to do, I caught on. And I've created a bunch of projects, and I love to make stuff that people will enjoy. And I'm finding that when I'm crocheting, it helps me zone out, almost like it helps me meditate. I do have to focus on what I'm doing. I'm not one of those wizards right now that can, do it blindly without looking at what I'm doing. I don't want to miss a stitch or lose one or whatever. So I do need to focus a little bit on that, but so here's what it's like for me, okay? Growing up, when I had to do homework, silence was evil. Silence was painful. So I always needed like music on, and it's killing me right now not to have music playing, but I don't want to get copyrighted for anything. But it killed me for not having, if I needed music, I needed like a rerun of a TV show that I didn't have to focus on to pay attention to the storyline, like something I knew to expect, whatever. And not that there were a lot of reruns in the 80s when I was growing up, but you know what I'm saying, like put on MTV and just music videos in the background. My mom would get so mad, rest her soul. She would get so mad that I would have the TV on when she'd come home from work, and I'd be trying to do my homework in front of it, and then she'd turn it off. I'd be like, well, now I can't get anything done. So occupying part of my brain with one thing allows me to hyper focus, or like not hyper focus in a bad way, but like laser focus on what I need to get done. And now I've found crocheting offers me that same ability to use that part of my brain to focus on the crocheting, and then I can like meditate and like think about whatever. I can zone out and like thoughts come to me and whatever. I can carry on conversation. Well, my family might have something to say about that. Maybe I can't, but it does help me zone out and relax, at least for sure. So that's a blanket I have to finish for a project called the Hazel Project. I'm sorry. It's going to be a baby blanket for infants in the NICU, for families who are experiencing, trouble with their newborns, and just a little bit of comfort in that for them. So that's a blanket I've been working on. And further down the line here, I've got 4 of these bookshelves Well, 3 are currently built. There's a space for a 4th one currently occupied by 3 totes full of my yarn and crochet stuff that I want to use the book shelving eventually for. We just moved into this house just a couple months ago. It's our dream home. And I want to get it set up with intention and purpose, and, because this is finally, it's taken a while, but this is finally where our roots are starting to take. So I have to work on that. That's a project. I keep saying it's a project every weekend, but always get sidetracked by something else. So maybe if I tell you all, I will hold myself accountable to be able to report back, and you'll see like organization here, a little more organization. It's not terrible right now. It's not pretty, but it's not terrible. But I've got a bunch of little tchotchkes and stuff that I want to display, and I've been looking at Pinterest boards on, tips on what's the word? I don't know, whatever. Staging bookshelves, I guess. We do have books for them, not just tchotchkes, but we do have books. And so that's that. I made this in high school. My little honey pot, Sister Lois, in Sister Lois's class. That's my art signature. Those are my initials when I was in high school. I don't have a lot from my childhood. Every time, like, my mom didn't like to hang on to much for posterity. And she, I don't know, when we moved houses when I was in 7th grade, she sold a lot of our stuff just to clean out. I can't blame her, but I would have liked to have it for my kids. So we do have a lot of our kids' stuff still so that they can have it for their kids, and so on and so on, like toys and shit, like toys and stuff that they enjoyed playing with, that there were toys that I enjoyed playing with that I would have appreciated having for my kids. Like, I don't even remember, like my original Care Bears and stuff. And my mom ended up getting Care Bears off of eBay for, I think, my 23rd birthday or something. And she got me a couple of Care Bears. They're here somewhere in a box. Everything's still in a box pretty much. But anyway, I promised you coffee and a deck review. So let's take a look. Take a sip of coffee. Let's see. I've got a video up already for my Golden Girls deck. And I just did a review or an unboxing of the Stranger Things deck I just received. Let's see. What's calling? We're going to do Akashic Tarot. So this one, and I'm working on trying to figure out a setup to be able to, I have a webcam like that I want to intend to use to film the desktop. But that's going to be a process. So I'm going to do it this way. But eventually my ideal setup is to have a little setup with my face and the desktop simultaneously, because that's what I want. So Akashic Tarot. So when I started on this spiritual journey, I got into it a little bit. I'm still kind of in my toddler phase of it. I'm not a newborn anymore with it, but I started hearing a lot of stuff about Akashic records, and it intrigued me. Like I wanted to learn more about it, and like because people I was seeing on TikTok, and any random people I follow on Twitter or whatever, I hear people talking about Akashic records, and I'd never heard of it before. So I wanted to learn more about it, and I was shopping at a local shop here, and a spiritual shop, and was looking for a new tarot deck. And I saw this one on the shelf, and it's Akashic Tarot by Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. And I saw this on the shelf, and I picked it up. I picked up other ones before I got to this one, and I had the thought come to me that I was just going to see how I felt when I picked each one up, right? So I picked up a crows one because I've been interested in, crows have quite a story, and I've got a history with them, like just from growing up where I grew up. There was always crows around, and they were always intriguing to me. But so there was a crows tarot that I have yet to get. But then I saw this one, and I picked it up, and I immediately felt as if I was standing on a boat. You know what I mean? Like I felt like that wibbly wobbly, not Time Lord, if you know, you know, but like a wibbly wobbly kind of like, ooh, I'm standing on a boat, like wonky feeling. So I took that. I was like, all right, noted. So then I bought this one. So, and then the feeling went away as soon as I made the decision that I confirmed I was definitely going to get this. And that feeling went away. It wasn't like a dizzy spell or anything like that. Like I wasn't about to pass out or anything. So I got it, and I brought it home, and I'm learning about it and stuff. And this deck is just absolutely stunning. Like I always cleanse a deck by knocking on it every time. Doesn't matter. Like I do it when I start and when I finish, just to cleanse the energy from it. But looking at this, like the backs, it's just satisfying. It looks like there's a glow coming, right? And if a card falls out and it's intended to be reverse, then it doesn't make a difference to me if I can tell one way or the other which way the cards are facing. I can understand how some people appreciate that, but if a card falls out and it's meant to be upside down, or reversed, it'll be reversed. So the artwork in these is amazing. And actually, this card is what inspired the name of my community here, Sangha Spiritual. I was drawn to this when I first saw this card come up in a reading. It took a couple of cycles through the deck before I noticed this card, but I just love it. Like, this is essentially, it feels like what I grew up with, Sunday dinner every Sunday at either our house or grandma's house or aunt's house. And it wasn't a matter of if we were doing Sunday dinner, it was just where. Every Sunday, without fail, it was just where are we doing dinner today, this week? So, and it's just, the family or the friends together, just that community, that just the warm glow and the love and it's just very welcoming and like homey to me. Oh, and look, there's a sunflower there. I didn't even realize. I was just drawn to sunflowers. That's why that's my icon. But it's, I don't know. This one just spoke to my soul. So that's where that came from. But this whole deck is, let's see, just the artwork is just fantastic. It's very meaningful, very detailed. You can tell it's a drawing, but just the skill that's in these with like shadows and lighting, and it's just a very comforting deck for me. There's just, I mean, it really is just beautiful. Like, there's a major arcana card, reflection. Like, look at that. It's just, and you look at it, and when you look at these cards in a reading, you first, don't discount what initial thoughts go through your mind, because that's all, intentional. If it popped into your mind, it's not a random act. It's everything is intentional. Oh, this one is just beautiful. Spring and autumn. So the suits in this deck are forces, roses, keys, and swords, I believe. Nope, scrolls. Okay. Forces, scrolls, excuse me, roses, and keys. Forces, scrolls, roses, and keys. Oh, this one. Add some. Like, look at just all of it. So this young girl is the human live person. I have a feeling he's also in this living world, right? In this scenario. But then this woman has a guardian angel, a fairy. Is that Teddy Roosevelt? Maybe her grandmother next to her. Like, just maybe that's not Teddy Roosevelt. That's quality I'm looking at on this camera is not the greatest, but just maybe ancestors. And I could look up the meaning in the guidebook. There is a guidebook that comes with this. And I've tabbed off where the suits are in here. But that just showed like love and wisdom and intrigue in there. Where's the other one? In my first reading that I did with this deck for myself, where is it? This one came up. And that, you can't, it's like a wide open field. And I don't know if you can see the range of color here, but it's a full spectrum of colors all the way around the outer border of the clouded area. And then just this storm of like all the knowledge that exists everywhere in the entire expanse of space and time. Like, that's what the Akashic records are, I've learned. And it's what I've learned about the Akashic records is it is it is all knowledge that exists, but we're only made aware of what we can handle little bits at a time. And we are nowhere near understanding everything that there is to understand or aware of. We don't know what we don't know, but we know that there's a lot we don't know. Like, they don't know, we know they don't. The Friends episode. So that fascinates me. And it's like, okay, now I want to know all of the things, with the Akashic records. But the fact that this came up in my first reading I did with this deck, I was like, okay, that means to me this was a good decision, a good choice to make this my deck. Here, the Queen of Scrolls is the cover of the box. Isn't she beautiful? Like, it reminds me of the first Neverending Story, the original one with I don't even know the kid's name. Not Jonathan Brandis, not that one. That was number 2. But this one, she reminds me of the childlike empress, kind of grown up. But and there's so much meaning in each image on each card, and it's described in the intention of each image is described in the book. The book does have interpretations for reversed cards. So, like the Adsum one, the one with where did she go? The girl with the books and the fairy and the angel that I showed a little while ago. Let's see, let's find this. If I meant to find it, it'll come up. There she is. So this one, the interpretation, when this comes up in a reading. A candle casts light on an open book held by a young woman sitting at a desk. Her eyes are drawn to the side as if she were distracted from her reading by a curious thought or someone nearby. She's surrounded by several people, many of whom are somewhat translucent and glowing. An angel bends and whispered, Adsum, I arrive. I am here. I attend you. Adsum is a single word that has many, many meanings. First, it affirms your own strength and focus in the present. You can use it as a command word whenever you find yourself distracted from what's at hand. Say, Adsum, I am here. And feel yourself attend to the situation or person before you. This word also declares your arrival at your goals and all your wishes coming true. Say, Adsum, I arrive. And take a moment to see yourself reaching your goals absolutely. Whenever you get this card, know that you're on your way to the results you seek with the help of others and the glorious help of Spirit. This card also reminds you to be assured that no matter what's happening in your life, Spirit is always there for you. They reach out to you, sharing their light and power and serving you in every way, from the least to the highest, from grandma to the divine. An eternal community attends you. Say, Adsum, and take some time to attend them too. You can act on your promise to God as Spirit lifts you upon their shoulders. You are present for each other and you arrive together at your dreams. And then reversed, this says, this card shows that you may feel you've lost sight of your purpose if it's reversed. Okay. This card shows that you may feel you've lost sight of your purpose and contact with your friends, higher self, and the spirits who attend you. Maybe you're too emotional or stressed or just busy. Say Adsum and remind yourself that you are here for a reason. It's time to do the work that helps you arrive at your dreams. No matter why you feel disconnected, this is when you need your life helpers and spirit guides the most. They have not deserted you, so don't desert yourself. Open the door and renew your commitment. Meet them in your life and your meditations. When you do, you'll find the help, love, and joy that attend you right now. During this phase, it's important to take some action toward your purpose each day. Even little steps will take you to your destination. And then there's a little bit called the Akashic Force that you can look more into. Close your eyes and sense all your spirit guides gathering. Take a deep breath and feel the words, Adsum, I arrive, in you. The divine stands next to you as you arrive at your highest dream. See it now. That was either way. That was just a little flavor. But yeah, so it's not like a religious spiritual deck. It's I've learned, I grew up Roman Catholic, and I've learned that spirituality doesn't need to mean religious, you know? And this is a topic for another video, and we're at 30 minutes here, so maybe I'll wrap it up. But I'm learning more and more that the disconnect I felt throughout my childhood, not understanding the devotion that my mom and my aunt and my grandma had for the Catholic Church, I just didn't get it and didn't feel that same way for me. And I just, like the stuff we were taught in religion class in school, I was like, I found myself inwardly, quietly in my head, questioning a lot of what I was being taught. And the older I got, it's still quiet because I felt obligated to carry on with that tradition, mostly for the sake of my mom. And, but after she passed away, it'll be 5 years, coming up on 5 years in a couple months. After she passed away, I felt almost like a release from the expectation of maintaining that facade. Like I felt a release, like I could be my true self, which was kind of scary, but also freeing because I went to Catholic school for, from kindergarten through high school. And I don't regret going, like, especially high school. I love the people I met in high school. It was a great experience for me, but the religion part of it, I probably could have done without, but the environment was great for me. But I'm learning more that I'm not the Roman Catholic religion, and organized religion at that, isn't really my jam. Not something to each his own, but it's not what word am I trying to think of? It's not what fuels my fire, you know what I mean? And this is like exploring my own spirituality and my own belief system, and like through like my parents' illnesses and their deaths and the other deaths that we experienced, which we'll go into that in other videos. But through all of that experience and, helping my kids through that loss and grief, and I learned a lot about myself and about what I believed, and I didn't realize I believed it until after I made sure my kids were okay. And I look back and I was like, oh, maybe all that bullshit I was thinking I was telling them to just kind of ease their minds so they could sleep at night was what I believed too. And maybe that was just spirit guiding me to, enlighten them and myself into what's going on out there. So I'm still on a learning journey in this. It's still, I'm still fairly early on in my spiritual journey, but I've been learning a lot about myself and about other people. So that being said, thanks for listening if you watch this later. And next time I go live, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. This will hopefully, my challenge for myself is that this will all look better. So thank you very much. And, here you go. Be a nice human. See you next time.